CD Projekt Red just brought out another huge update during their recent live stream, Update 2.1, which is bringing some much requested features such as the Metro system, more romance stuff, new cars, an insane motorcycle update, boss fights, new roads, and even more. I thought we were pretty much done with these big updates after Update 2.0, but out of nowhere, they're like, here you go, have the Metro system. One of the most requested features I've seen people want. This was something a lot of people were sort of disappointed in at release, especially since in the trailer, he's like running around through the Metro system, so people were pretty disappointed that you couldn't use it. And they actually had pretty decent mods out there that turned the Metro into a usable feature. But now, instead of just having fast travel points near Metro stations, you will have 19 of these fast travel points actually lead to a usable Metro, which connect to 5 different systems or routes, which will be unlocked after the Konpeki Plaza mission towards the beginning of the game, in which you should get a call from a Metro guy telling you that you can use them. They mentioned that the Metro would pair nicely with the portable radio, which they just call the radio port, where now once you leave your vehicle, you will have the option to continue playing music on your person, where you can sit there and jam out while taking the Metro to your next destination, or just listen to music while you're running around the world. The radio port will automatically pause your music whenever an important scene is happening or something that you need to hear in order to not miss what's going on. They also mentioned that the music pauses once you're in some of those fights and that action music kicks in. But I don't know, man, I think it'd be awesome to just keep playing some of the music over your fight. Some of those tracks are pretty crazy. This update also brings us new vehicles, including 5 new motorcycles. Not only did they give 5 new motorcycles due to receiving a lot of feedback requesting more, but they've also added the ability to throw knives from the motorcycle, which are probably my favorite weapons ever since Update 2.0, so that's a nice little addition. But most notably, the ability to finally let your motorcycle come off of the ground. Prior to this 2.1 update, your motorcycle is like it's magnetically attached to the road. Like it cannot come off of the ground. I think the first time anybody hopped on one of these, the first thing you try to do is a wheelie, which you can't, so then you try to get some air to try and do a flip or anything, which is pretty rare to begin with since again you can't leave the ground. But now you can do wheelies and flips on your motorcycle with a new leaning mechanic, which is pretty standard in a lot of open world games, especially when they have vehicles, but now it is finally in Cyberpunk, and this is probably my favorite part of the update. They've also added a brand new Porsche 911 inspired by Johnny Silverhand. It sounds like finding this will be similar to how we found that one car off in the desert in the 2.0 update, since they said that we'll have to pay close attention and keep a lookout to trigger something in order to obtain this new car, which looks really clean, and they showed it off quite a lot throughout the gameplay. The highway that was previously under construction and empty of pedestrians that lies between Wellsprings and Japantown, this will now be a fully drivable highway, which might come in handy since now during the vehicle deliveries in the base game, instead of being able to just run up, steal the vehicle and dip, now if you get detected while stealing that vehicle, like getting into combat for example, enemies will pursue you, which I swear in the 2.0 update this was already a thing, maybe my brain's just lagging, but there's gonna be some sort of change there. We now have some sort of Romance Hangouts with whichever romance option you went with. So now we get some more Pan Am if you went that route. I'm interested to see how deep this goes, since a lot of the romance stuff didn't go much further than the side quests that you had to complete in order to get that romance option. I mean, if you play Phantom Liberty, especially if you get a Phantom Liberty ending, you don't even hear from your romance partner anymore. It's just over. This sounds like it might be kind of similar to GTA 4. I don't know if anybody still remembers GTA 4 at this rate, but you used to be able to go out on dates and hang out with your romanced people. CD Projekt Red has also worked at improving some of the boss fights. Just like a lot of what they talked about, they hinted at there being a lot of hidden changes, more than they are talking about here, but the only boss fight they really highlighted and talked specifically about is Atom Smasher, who they seem really passionate about making feel exactly how fighting Atom Smasher should feel like.
Yes, I mean, so we did a couple improvements to boss fights, and I won't talk about the smaller improvements, I would say, because those we will leave you to find. However, there's one that we really wanted to highlight, I would say, and this is Atom Smasher. There was this moment when I saw like the meme that you guys made, you know, with the SpongeBob, you know, how the Smasher looks like in the anime and how he looked like in the game. So we tried to match it much more. I can hint some things because I really want to like leave it for players' discovery. However, like I think like one of the most iconic things was Sandevistan for Smasher, and we all saw it in Edgerunners, how inspiring it was, how cool it was to just see this guy just run around and leave this trail behind him. So we basically, with the help of our VFX artists and of course, you know, our gameplay designers, we made it happen in the game. He is really scary. He really chases you around right now. He's really relentless. I am sure that you guys figure out, a lot of, overpowered builds to find ways, to, beat him. But we are doing really our best to make sure that he is actually a proper boss. And what's cool is that he'll actually do act slightly differently if you're a Netrunner or if you're a solo, and depending of the features that you're going to use. So I'm not gonna say anything more, I think, but there are some cool things that our gameplay designers did for that specific boss fight, and I am really looking forward to figuring it out.
So yeah, they seem really excited for this, and I mean, just off of the gameplay here, he already looks 10 times more terrifying. There is now a new accessibility menu gathering up all of the accessibility settings, which has brought some new HUD settings, as you can see here, but so far I still don't see a setting to quickly disable and re-enable the entire HUD with one click, which is a setting that I really wish we had. But as of now, I'm pretty sure you just have to sit here and individually tick each HUD element. I really hope that's not a setting that I just missed the entire time. You can also turn off the hacking minigame timer when you're breaching, which once you get this breaching thing down, I don't really think the timer is that big of a deal, but now you can turn it off. Plus, they've brought the addition for Dualsense Controller support for PC, so now we'll be able to put the PS5's adaptive triggers to use. But there's also features in this update that they apparently haven't even talked about yet, so we have even more to look forward to. Oh yeah, plus there's supposed to be some sort of new gang wanted thing, where after making certain decisions in different missions, a lot of these decisions kind of get a faction mad at you, but you can't really tell throughout your gameplay. Now these factions will begin to actually chase you in the open world after some of these big decisions. They didn't really go into how deep this goes, if it's just like they chase you one time after each decision, or if it's just like non-stop chases at random. As you might have known, on December 5th is when Cyberpunk 2077's Ultimate Edition will be releasing, which will come with both the base game and the Phantom Liberty DLC, something you see a lot with big releases. Once all of the DLC releases, they have like a big edition that includes both the base game and the DLC, but that is also when we will get this new update. So on December 5th, prepare to have to reinstall all of your mods again. I haven't even bothered modding this game since like update 1.6, because by the time I get around to it, they hit us with another big update, which I guess is sort of hard to complain about. It's like we're suffering from success with all of the updates that we get on here. And since I still keep seeing people ask about New Game Plus, both in my comments and just everywhere, I mean the #1 tweet that everyone was tweeting at CD Projekt Red when they posted about this update 2.1 is about New Game Plus. And there is still no word on any form of New Game Plus coming, although they did give us some New Game Plus type features with update 2.0, like being able to re-roll your attributes, kind of, and now doing things like being able to replay the vehicle races.
I know you guys, a lot of you really enjoyed the car races that we had with Claire. So now we actually are introducing the replayable car races.
During the quest with Claire, as a player, you had various interactions with a guy called Jim. After you have finished the quest with Claire, that's the important part, you will be contacted by him to take part into the races, and all four races that we had before, right now they're available for you anytime you want. You will find on a UI, on a map, you will find a new icon with a flag with like checkboard. So if you get there, you can take part in a race. You can win money, and what's interesting, you can also win the discounts for AutoFixer website, where you can get more cars and motorcycles.
In the past, they have stated that they have no plans for New Game Plus, so as of now, we're probably not going to get it unless they just decide to throw it out there in another surprise update at some point. It sounds like New Game Plus might be a headache for CD Projekt Red to implement, since it didn't really seem like it was ever accounted for in Cyberpunk's development. But I mean, I think everyone just wants to have a reason to use all of their new gear. You get all of these great weapons in Phantom Liberty, and towards the end of the game, then you run out of reasons to really use them. I think everyone just wants to be able to replay with their gear. It doesn't even have to include any other special features alongside it, so it would be nice to get it at some point. It seems like CD Projekt Red pays a lot of attention to what fans of their games want. Like, that was a big part of this stream, is them saying that pretty much all of these features are only here because a lot of people wanted them. So just keep putting it out there, comment below if you want New Game Plus, and we might get it later on. Honestly though, for me, it's hard to be picky with this game. I remember back when update 1.6 released, I thought the game was pretty much already done. Then the insane update 2.0, I really thought the developers were done with this game after that, at least for the most part, and then they come out of nowhere with another really big update. Where games like Starfield have me sort of scared for their next big games, like Elder Scrolls 6 for example, I am even more hyped for the rest of CD Projekt Red's games now. Like you probably know, they were working on a couple of different Witcher projects, including The Witcher 4, as well as Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, Orion. And if we can start planting seeds in the developers' heads for Orion, flying cars. The flying cars mod is absolutely insane. If we somehow get that in Orion, it would be crazy. I don't know if it's even possible with consoles, but since they're only focusing on next-gen consoles now, I imagine it's at least a little bit more possible now. But that's pretty much it. Stay tuned for some more Cyberpunk 2077 videos. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see in another update, what you hope CD Projekt Red throws into the game next, or even into the next game, Cyberpunk Orion. See ya.